Good evening, everybody. Alan Slaughterzinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Welcome back to the Melbourne studios here, and very excited tonight because, first of all, we're going to talk about a new sponsor here on. I like to call them sponsors, partners, if you will, because I have continuously said that the people that we partner with, we truly believe do what's best for student athletes and the programs these student athletes play for and go to school for. So, my guest tonight is a Brevard County native. He is a former Cocoa Tiger. We're going to have him tell us all about that tonight. Please help me welcome from MiCard, and I know you've heard me talk about it. And look, throughout the course of this interview, you'll see the video rolling. You'll see the information at the bottom of your screen. The QR code is in the corner, and it'll flash up big on the screen as well throughout. But please help me welcome, for the first time here into the Brevard Sports Network studios, Mr. Tracy Campbell. Tracy, how are you, man?
I'm good, brother. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this, but I doubt that there are anybody actually out there that doesn't know you. But for those that don't,
Okay.
a little about you, your background a little bit, and start there.
Okay, so a lot of people know me as Tracy Campbell, born and raised in Titusville, Florida. Played sports all coming up. And then throughout high school, started my high school career with Astronaut High School. And then I transferred about halfway through my junior year over to Cocoa High.
Okay.
That's where I played quarterback for the original three-peat team of Coach Wilkinson.
Yeah.
In that regime, and we were part of that team that went 14-0. I believe we were ranked 15th in the nation, and then we actually, during that season, a lot of people don't know this, but we beat the number one team in the country at that team, which was Abilene Christian.
Nice.
So we had an explosive backfield, anywhere from Chevelle Bowie to Tarian Folston, Tay Jones, to Twan Lee. Just in that backfield alone was over 3,000 yards of rushing.
Yes.
So we were, of course, part of the dark side. Rick Rivers,
Right.
Detarius Allen, Grady Redding, Trey Cador. The list goes on.
Yep.
Terrell Denson. Just a great group of guys. We came together and we won that title. And then that 39-game win streak with Coach Wilkinson.
Oh, that was sweet.
Oh, my God. And we were actually the first team to travel out of state and play, and that's what kind of started that. And just to see what that program has continued to raise the bar has been phenomenal.
Let me ask you this, because you watched it, you played under Wilk.
Yep.
Okay. You saw how it was accomplished under Coach Wilk. Does it shock you that the program is able to continue to do this and do it in a completely different way?
I wouldn't say that it shocks me. But more so what it does, man, is it re-energizes me, honestly. When I watch that they've been able, and what Coach Snyder and those great group of guys over there, they're doing, is how they've been able to take something, make it their own, but then also keep the culture there.
Right.
And when I look at it, and when I even spoke with the team, and I've got to speak with the coaching staff, it's been nothing but family still to this day. And that's what I love, and that's what I think is the biggest thing about Cocoa High School and Tiger Pride, is that even when I walk into that program to this day, and I have not stepped field or I have laced up cleats or put on any shoulder pads in almost 15 years, I still feel as though I am a part of that Tiger football team.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. So to watch them it's been nothing but amazing, and I still get the jitters when they suit up in right before kickoff.
I don't think a lot of people realize. I mean, that team ran a lot. You threw the ball.
Yep.
A lot.
Yep.
I mean, you guys did, and you did, and you know what? I mean, listen, were you on that? Was it your team that because I think the greatest game in the history of the Cocoa Tigers program, and I don't know if you were on this team or not, the Bowls game. Were you during the regular season when they came back? Were you on that team?
I was not at that time. I was playing at Astronaut High School.
I got you. Okay,
that was Matt Younger.
Okay,
who's like a big brother to me. He calls me Mini Me.
Yeah,
but I would actually like to second that one. Yeah,
yeah,
that is because again, a lot of times we get caught up in what Coco team was better, none of that really matters.
No.
We all came and we did what we were supposed to do, and we won. But that game there, I still remember watching that for film study to get ready to prepare to play them.
Right.
And I was just like they went into Jacksonville Bowls and did that.
Yep.
And I think that's what really also put, Coco High on the map.
The other thing about that game was what a lot of people don't realize is that at that time, there were 2 state championships in that classification that year. Coco won it and Bowls won it. Mm-hmm. So it's really an incredible piece of history. But, okay, since graduating, get us caught up.
So after graduating, I went to the military for a short stint. After the military, got out and started doing law enforcement. That was my first love because since 7th grade, I knew that I wanted to be a police officer.
Right.
I came from a family of police officers, law enforcement officers, and things of that nature. So I started doing that with the Juvenile Detention Center, and then worked my way up where Sheriff Wayne Ivey hired me to work corrections for the jail. After that, I then transferred to the road. Okay. Where I got a job with Rockledge.
Okay.
So I was living what I thought was my dream.
Okay.
My dream job of being a cop, being a servant of the community, and actually just doing something I really loved. It was Father's Day of 2018. I got a call from my uncle stating that they had to rush my mom to the emergency room.
Oh.
They didn't know what happened. They just knew that something wasn't right. So I thought it was her calling me to wish me happy Father's Day. Turns out it was them saying that they had to rush her to the hospital.
Oh, no.
I get there, and things are just going downhill. They can't figure out what's going on with her. At that time, they were still trying to run tests, but nothing would happen. But day by day, she was getting weaker and weaker, and it didn't look good. Turns out she had bacterial meningitis.
Oh, no.
And in result to that, she had 45 mini strokes. That ate away her hearing and her balance. So I put down the badge because I was given an ultimatum at that time. Either you come back now or we fire you.
Right.
I'm an only child. Mother's never been married. I'd quit 100 times over again. So I put down the badge and I took care of her. And at that time, that's when I became part of entrepreneurship, so to speak. I started to understand about influencing on social media, and then started to get my certification in personal training. So I started doing that, started training clients and things like that. And then fast forward, I got a job offered at Crunch Fitness.
Okay.
I became the general manager for about 2 years, I would say, and grew that gym and started to really, make things happen there and started to build a clientele and started to understand my actual members. Well, then life happened again.
Sure.
So at that time, my boss came to me and said, hey, listen, we want to go another direction. We're going to hire somebody else. You either step down or you can transfer here, you take less money, you can do whatever. I'm a faith-based guy.
Right.
So 2 weeks prior to that, I had a dream that they were going to try and fire me. That same dream that I had played out exactly how it happened when my boss came to me. So when he gave me the ultimatum, I said, hey, listen, I think this is God speaking to me, and I'm gonna go.
Right.
I'll figure it out. This is just it. This is the end of the road.
Right.
So that happened. Got into real estate. Started my own real estate company. Started doing wholesale real estate. Started meeting mentors along the way, and that started to eventually take off after about 18 months of just being in a rough spot of not closing anything. But of course, what do? You keep persevering.
Pushing.
You keep pushing.
Right.
And things happen. So that's when that started to take off. And then last year, actually, February around this time, I think it was February 15th or 17th, I met Ralph Perone Jr.
Great guy.
Great guy. And interestingly enough, how I met him is I saw his dad driving my dream car, a Lamborghini Urus. And I was a crazy guy. I followed him. And I wanted to see where he was going because I thought I wanted to ask him, how did you afford this car? What did you do? Like, teach me.
Right.
And when I spoke with him, I jumped out of the car, handed him a business card. Great guy, wanted to meet. However, he's very busy. So it didn't pan out the way that I wanted it to. So then I ended up reaching out to the son, which was Junior. And I said, hey, listen, I know that you do real estate. I see what your family's been able to accomplish. I believe I could be an asset. Could you please meet with me? I'll buy your lunch. I'll pay for your time, whatever it is. I just want to learn something. And he says, there's no need to pay me anything. How about you just meet me at my office on this day? I met him at that office, sat for 2 hours. And that was a life-changing moment because he started to then pour into me and give me homework. I took that homework like a quarterback would, and I started to apply it. And I started to update him on the things that I was learning and how could I even learn more stuff. And he says, well, I got more and more for you. And he just kept feeding me. I kept doing. And he says, it's something about you that I like. And I said, well, I probably remind you of a younger version of yourself.
Right.
And he laughed and he says, you actually do.
Yeah.
And then from then on, he started to mentor me. Now he's not a mentor. I've told him I've upgraded him to uncle status.
There you go.
So he's part of family. And then he introduced me to MiCard.
I got you.
Said, hey, listen, I think this would be something that you like. And then here we are.
Sounds like, one of my sales was my life. It is my life still to this day because, to eat, you have to sell.
Yep. Yeah.
And I know, one of my favorite sales expressions is I've stood on a mountaintop of no's for one yes, my friend. So one more no ain't going to kill me.
No.
So MiCard.
Yes.
To look at its inception originally for networking and real estate and things of that nature, tell me about how we morph this into the student athlete, because to me, it just feels so natural for the student athlete. So tell us about kind of how we got to that point.
Interestingly enough, it was Cocoa High again. They were suiting up to play for the second three-peat. And at that time, I was invited to come out and speak with the team. I spoke with the team the day before they went on to win the state title. And after that, I left just being empowered. And I knew that they were going to win. But I wanted to understand, how could I impact, my alma mater? How could I do something for them besides, donating to another ring? I mean, I could do that all day, but what would leave a greater impact? How could we help? So I went to Ralph. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, they're playing for another state title. I want to do something, and outside of donating to a ring, what do you got?
Right.
And he says, well, MiCard. And I'm like, what do you mean MiCard? And he's like, listen, it's simple. An athlete could use it. He says, think about it. Right now, we're in an era where NIL has come and been birthed. And it's like the Wild Wild West, honestly. And not everybody is going to be able to garner a big deal from Nike or a big deal from wherever you name, okay? But we have something that could help every athlete, no matter the playing field, no matter how talented they are. And I said, okay, what are you thinking? So we went to brainstorming and we just tweaked a couple things, and here it is.
It's beautiful.
It's been phenomenal.
And I think the thing that I love about this is that, like you said, not every student athlete's going to be in for the big NIL deal, but if you talk to most of the football players, not just football, any sport, because volleyball players really have an outstanding opportunity, soccer players, all sports. You think about this, they all want to go play at the next level, right? There's no better way to connect with a coach than to say, bam, here's everything you need to know about me. Here's my QR code. Go take a look at my highlights, coach. Talk about that.
And I'm glad you hit on that, because we've spoken, with scouts. We've spoken with those that are very, familiar with the college recruiting process. And that was the biggest thing is, I have this athlete card, but let me get it in front of someone that actually has the experience, right? As a college recruiter or a college coach, and let me get their opinion on it. And they all say the same thing. This is amazing, because what it does is it helps their job. Because if I'm recruiting you and I understand everything on one card that I need to know about you, when I step into your home, I feel like I know you.
Got your social media, got everything. It all.
I don't have to go look at the front office, because I can even put your GPA on there.
Yep.
I know mom and dad's name. I know your sister's name. I know that you like this color. I know that you went here and you went there and what your favorites are. So now I feel like I know you. That's the biggest thing. And
if you look at, listen, man, I love the troll.
Yeah.
I love it. Duran Guilford is, just if you know Duran, you love Duran. And I thought it was a fantastic fit.
Yeah.
To watch him go with this and to do some of the things. And you're seeing Duran's card and others on your screen. But the other thing, Tracy, is that for these young men and women at this age to learn how to create a personal brand,
Correct.
to learn how to network, to understand what it is to be a self entrepreneur are all very valuable lessons for. I mean, not every one of these kids is going to go play at a high level in college. They're not going to play in the NFL. They're not going to play on the World Volleyball Tour. But these things here teach you what it means to put yourself out in the world a little bit,
Yes.
and not be scared to do it.
Yeah.
What would you say to the athlete? And here's the best part, and here's the part that I love, is that it's free for the athletes.
Correct.
How is that possible?
So basically, what we do is we have a digital platform, and for us, it's more so just about getting users onto the platform.
Right.
Okay. But we also understand that these student athletes, they don't work jobs, a lot of them.
Right.
And they're not just like myself or you or another entrepreneur that maybe have a stream of income. So we do have tiered levels. But for an athlete, what we're really pushing is the free card. Hey, listen, this has everything that you need, okay, for the free model. Let's stick with this, and then let's put you in a place to be able to brand and market yourself in a very professional way. That doesn't cost any money.
No.
There's no startup fee. There's no monthly fee. There's none of that. It's literally free. And that's the beautiful thing about it is now when I go to a camp or I'm talking to a coach or a scout, here's my QR code. You can scan this.
Right.
Or I can text it to you. I can airdrop it to you. I can email it to you.
Right.
And then the beautiful thing about this is when I do that with you, Alan, it then tracks your information.
Yep.
So there's a built-in CRM. Now I know that I spoke with Florida State. I spoke with UCF.
Wow.
I spoke with Bethune-Cookman. I spoke with everybody. I had that coach's name. I have their info. And now after a game, I can send them my huddle. I can update them. And that's another thing. So when it saves to your phone, as I make updates, it changes for you.
That's wild. That I did not know.
Yes.
That's an incredible tool to be able to have, because during seasons, that's going to change every other night or every Friday night or whatever. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. Here with Tracy Campbell of MiCard, and this is the future. And here's the part, and I don't want anybody out there thinking I'm telling you you got to do this, but here's the bottom line. If it's not MiCard, you better figure something out, right?
Correct.
Because this is the time. There's a reason that one of the tightest, and I mean this in a good way when I say these words that I'm going to say, that one of the tightest, strictest, now that, they may not always enforce, rules or broken laws as you would want them to, but one of the tightest, strictest athletic associations in the country, in the FHSAA, has finally given in on NIL.
Yeah.
They are going to give in on other things as well coming down the pike. To me, the student athlete that wants to play at the next level but chooses not to do something like this, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, they're going to be left behind, Tracy.
Yeah, they are.
And so I think this is key. Did I want to see NIL? Not at the high school level, I didn't. I definitely thought college guys should be paid. Did I want to see, the transfers? I don't want to see any of that stuff. But the bottom line is, it's here.
Yes.
You can't change it. It's never going back.
No.
So you might as well get with a program that's going to take you into that future. And to me, MiCard is that future. If I said to you, Tracy, what are one or two key points that need to stick in a parent's mind about this? The student athlete's going to fall in love with this because, everything we do is in the palm of our hand now. And we all know that teenagers and young adults, even us, right? I mean, it's all right here. But for parents, what would be one or two things you would want the parents to know about something like this? Because parents are always skeptical, as they rightly should be. But how would you overcome the skepticism of the objection, whatever you hear to this?
Correct. I think one of the biggest things that sticks out is because we partnered with Pylon.
Right.
Correct. And one of the biggest things were because these are student athletes, how are they protected? Well, because unlike Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all these other things that these student athletes are on, there's no way for me to search an athlete by their card. They're always pretty much protected.
They
So
have to give the information.
They have to give the information
Right.
out. So I would not be able, or anyone else would not be able to even search their card.
Right.
All their information is protected. So if they've given it to you, that's the only way that you would know that you have their card. That is simply it.
Because they want you to have it.
Because they want you to have it. There's no search bar for me to search up, Duran Guilford.
Right.
I can't do that.
Right.
I would have to have gotten Duran's information from him, granting it to me and giving it to me.
Right.
And that's the only way. So I think it's that, but then I also think it's more so the branding is another big thing
Sure.
for the parents, because everything is put into one. So again, here we are when we're talking to college scouts or we're talking to coaches. Instead of giving out an Instagram handle or a Twitter account, now here's a very professional way to contact and to have my information.
I think that's the biggest thing.
I think that is.
Yeah.
And, when we talk about NIL and all those things, well, in our card, what you see there is we have about 10,000 or more preloaded retailers. So now you have a kid that can work with the Nike, that can work with Under Armour, that can work with Adidas, that can work with Dick's Sporting Goods. Any retailer that they want, they can interchange out of there, and they can earn a commission off of anytime somebody
They can make
orders
some
from it.
money.
They can make some money from it if they wanted to.
That is that's another great opportunity because parents, they still got to pay for car insurance and put gas in the automobile, and I mean all of those things they have to happen. Man, I mean this is just, and again you have seen this throughout the course of the interview with Tracy, and then parents. By the way, if you're in a job that honestly requires you to network yourself,
Yes. It's for you.
This is your thing. I mean, I created one.
Yeah.
I had to have one, man. I absolutely love it. I really do. Tracy, this is just great stuff. And I want to make sure with something like this, remember, you're going to boost your exposure. This is recruiting made easy for you. NIL and merch sales, academics and athletics are combined in this. Free for the student athletes. With all of those things said, I want to make sure that we touched on everything. Is there anything of importance that we didn't discuss with this?
I don't think there really is. Other than the simple fact is we provided a game changer.
Right.
And we know that the product works. We know that it's good. We're just here now trying to see how we can help student athletes.
Right.
How can we help streamline your process? How can we make you look more brandable, more professional? And I think that's the biggest thing, because when I design cards for athletes, sometimes I'll get a blurry picture. I'll get a picture that
you don't have to tell. You're preaching to the choir on that one.
My first thing is, how can I make this athlete stand out when they're talking to a coach or a college scout? But again, we have a product that is game changing, and we know sooner or later it's going to take over the nation. We were just on a call 2 weeks ago with Max Preps.
Wow.
Yesterday we were just on a call with RCX Sports, which is the head of NFL Flag and Rival Camp Series. So you'll probably see us there.
I'm sure Huddle's in the future.
Yes, we have Pylon. We have other large organizations. We have a couple high schools that we're scheduled to meet with as well in the upcoming weeks. So it's here. It's coming. We just want to understand, how can we be better for the student athlete? We're always taking critique, but our biggest focus is branding and marketing and helping these athletes push their brand and being a support system for them. That's just it.
I think that's well said. I think this is a phenomenal thing for the student athlete and for parents and for families. Again, it's an ever-changing world daily out there, especially as it comes to athletics and high school sports. And if you haven't been paying attention, there are a lot of outstanding student athletes in Brevard County.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you another thing, too. Something like this, you put something like this together, one thing a student athlete can suffer from, and I saw it growing up, and I know you saw it, is a lack of confidence type of a thing.
Correct.
Something like this can help with that, with the morale of yourself a little bit, boost your confidence a little bit. You put your, it's just weird what student athletes are inspired by, and nothing more than being able to shoot a college coach a QR code, your code for, hey, coach, check this out. Bam. Because I promise you this, coach has got 1,000 DMs in his Twitter box.
Absolutely.
Okay. But he don't have
No. When
these
I see
QR
that,
codes.
yeah, when I see that from a kid,
Right.
I'm like, wow.
I'm looking.
Who's
Right.
this kid? This is different. This isn't just, hey, coach on Twitter. This is, wow, okay. Well,
Look at this
now
guy. I got to open this up.
I have to.
Right.
I have everything that I need. I don't have to go search here. I don't have to look through papers over here or lost information here. I have everything.
Tracy, I think this is a phenomenal idea, and I don't think there's anybody better in this county to make sure that our student athletes are taken care of with this than you. I appreciate you taking some time to come in today.
Absolutely.
MiCard, and I love the color scheme too on MiCard. It looks good on the black bottom,
Yeah.
on the back. It's a cool looking color scheme. So again, all of the information has been at the bottom of the screen. You've seen the videos rolling up. The QR code has been in the upper left-hand corner. One more time, there's the big one right there in front of my face. You don't want to see me. You need that QR code right there. Get in touch if you need anything from Tracy. All of the information is there. Once again, we want to welcome MiCard, and we're excited about the future. So for Tracy Campbell, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Have a great night, everybody.